皆さんこんにちは。今回はネイティブ講師と議論をします。お題は生きる意味とはです。英検みたいなね資格試験ではおそらく出題されないテーマなんですけど、個人的にね、哲学にすごく興味があるのと、今日の先生の趣味がですね、哲学ということでこのトピックにしました。で、先生とはですね2年前にキャンブリで初めて出会って、すごくフレンドリーで聞き上手で印象が良かったので、よかったら一緒にね YouTube 動画撮りませんかってオファーしたところ OK をいただきましたので、今日の動画を投稿しています。で、企業案件とかじゃないんですけど、先生のプロフィールね、一応概要欄に貼っておきますので、興味がある人はぜひ見てみてください。はい、では早速楽しんでください。どうぞ。
Hey, Daris.
Hey,
How are ya?
welcome back.
Yeah, it's been like 2 years.
Oh, whoa. If it's been years,
Time
I've been
flies.
here too long.
You've been teaching all this time?
I guess so.
Oh,
Yeah,
you must love it on Cambly then.
something like that. A love-hate relationship, maybe.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the last time I talked to you, I think I mentioned that I'm a teacher in Japan. I teach English. But what I didn't tell you probably is that I have my own YouTube channel.
Nah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So most of my viewers are like intermediate to advanced level students.
Okay.
And yeah, so I thought, maybe I could post a video of me having like an interesting chat with a native
Yeah.
speaker. And
Yeah.
so I remembered that in your profile, you had it written that you're passionate about philosophy.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. And that's one of my passions as well. So I thought maybe we
Sweet.
could, talk about some philosophical questions. So
I will try not to embarrass myself.
that shouldn't be a problem. So did you like study philosophy in college or something?
I just had a close friend
Mm.
in school who was a philosophy major, and we just argued all the time. So
Right.
I think I naturally learned a few things about philosophy from hanging around them.
Right. So do you have like any questions that you like thinking about in particular?
Just why are we here? That's sort of the big one that
That's a good
sort
one.
of comes to mind.
That's a good one. All right, should we maybe start off with something like that? Maybe like, is there a meaning to life or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, this is getting into personal philosophy, but if you want to talk about like specific schools of thought, we can go there too. Whatever
Okay.
you're- Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll start with what I think about
Okay.
this question, right?
Let's hear it. Mhm.
So I think it's highly possible that there isn't an answer to the question,
Mhm.
and that maybe it is a faulty question. So
Oh.
what I mean by that is, I think as children, like we've been trained or we've been conditioned to kind
Go.
of to expect that there is an answer to like every question. So for instance, at school, the teacher would ask the students a question and the students would raise their hands, and then
Mhm.
the teacher says, okay, all right, what do you think? And the student says a response. They say, yeah, well done, that's correct, or something like that.
Mhm.
And also in like exams, like there's usually one
Yeah.
correct answer
One
to every-
correct answer, right?
to every question. And if you get that answer correct, then the teacher says, well done, you get a mark, and you're happy. So we're kind of conditioned to look for answers and expect that there is an answer. And we want to find an answer because we'll be rewarded. So when we're faced with a question like, is there a meaning to life? Or what is the meaning of life? We immediately assume that there is an answer and we start looking. But what if there isn't an answer? Like, it's possible to make a grammatically correct question that doesn't have an answer. Like, for instance, you could say, what do fairies smell like? I mean, that makes sense. It makes sense as a question, but that makes the assumption that fairies exist.
And then have a smell that's recognized.
Yeah, that's right. But fairies probably don't exist. So, you could say, oh, that's a stupid question. There is no answer to that question. So I thought maybe it's possible that there is no answer to what is the meaning of life, because maybe there isn't such thing as a meaning. Maybe meaning is just a concept that's created inside the human mind, because I don't think animals think about things like meaning.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. What do you think?
Oh man, that was a great answer.
Thank you.
I can't really compete. I guess whenever I think about it, it sort of comes down to, I can never come to a solid conclusion other than if I have to pin it to an answer. It seems to me that the greatest purpose in our life is cooperation with others. And I know this is an altruistic kind of argument to make, sort of for the greater good, but I think, like, I kind of agree with you about there not necessarily being a meaning towards all of this. In fact, today, to prepare for our lesson, I was just laying down on the bed, just looking out of the window saying, I wonder what we're going to talk about.
Just like a philosopher.
Trying to think of some things. And I was like, am I wasting my time doing this? Maybe I should research some ideas that I found useful. But I think that was the best use of my time. And so going back to the answer, cooperation. I guess I could say I'm influenced by a lot of Buddhist philosophies. So trying to find peace of mind is kind of important to me. And in order to get there, it seems like cooperation with others seems to be the best path in order to get to that.
Right. That's interesting. So, cooperation and altruism is also something I'm really interested in. Do you think like people can be like purely 100% altruistic, like do things just for other people and not for themselves? Like there's no selfish kind of reason why you're doing something for others?
This kind of, now we're getting into psychology a bit. But
another one of your passions, right?
I think in a moment, yes, it's possible.
Right.
Over a life, maybe not because of ego, I think our egos are always gonna, even if we try to be as selfless as possible, eventually we're gonna need a reason on the inside that motivates us, not just so much in an external way.
So my take on it is that it's probably not possible to be 100% altruistic, because everything that we do, we probably do because we feel it's good for us in some way. So for instance, like if we volunteer to like help poor people, I don't know, or if we donate to poor people, it seems like we're doing it because we want to help someone else. But by donating, you actually feel good about yourself, because you know that you've been helpful to someone, you've been useful, and you're needed. So it's kind of satisfying your own desire. So in that sense, I think maybe that's, well, maybe not selfish, but you're kind of doing it for yourself as well.
Motivated from an internal source, right?
So, but I don't think that's like a bad thing. Like,
no.
So long as I think the best thing you can do in life is probably develop like win-win relationships. Like,
Oh
things-
yeah, a little symbiosis.
yeah. So if you do something that benefits somebody else but also benefits you, then that's probably the best thing to do. And the things that you shouldn't do are probably things that only benefit yourself. So like,
Or hurt others.
yeah, oh
Excuse
yeah,
me,
yeah, definitely.
Now,
yeah.
I mean, but then it gets to the question of, well, should we be able to hurt others?
Okay, all right. What do you think?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's sort of the big issue when it comes to being human. It's almost like an inevitability that you're gonna hurt people. Sometimes when you're trying to do the opposite of that. When I was a kid, my grandmother used to always tell me the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And
Right.
I never understood that until I got a little bit older. Now it's just,
Right.
yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I suppose we do sometimes hurt people like unintentionally.
Yeah. Which is frustrating for everyone involved.
So yeah, I just remembered, like, for me, I think there are like two main ways that we can kind of hurt people, and one is directly, obviously, and the other one is indirectly. So the direct ones are easy to detect. Like,
Yeah.
if you like say something nasty on social media about someone, that's a direct attack, and they'll probably feel hurt. But I think we can hurt people indirectly, or hurt their self-esteem indirectly, just by being successful. Like,
Okay, you got me.
like if you're rich and famous and you have this huge social media following, then some people are going to be jealous about that.
Yeah.
Especially if they think that they are actually, so let's say, I don't know, you're like what's a good example? You're a comedian or something. You've got like a comedy channel on YouTube, and you've got like millions of followers. And then there might be people out there thinking, I'm funnier than that guy. Why is that guy more successful than me? And then they get all angry. And in that way, I think we can like indirectly hurt people as well, even though we don't intend to. So yeah, I totally agree with you that, sometimes we do hurt others unintentionally.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting, though. Is it that we're hurting others, or is it that they are hurting themselves by not having the self-awareness to recognize that they are also capable of the success that they compare themselves to with others? Kind of a mouthful, but
that's interesting, actually. I think when people see others who are successful, like there are two reactions that they can have, and one is the one I just mentioned. So they can just get all jealous and try to find fault with that person and say, that guy might be successful, but I'm still better than him because he has a bad personality or something like that. But what some other people can do is they can, I suppose, feel motivated. They can say, hey, that guy's doing so well, and I also think I have the ability to do something similar. Maybe I'll try hard and I'll try to get where that person is at. So I think those are probably the two main reactions that people can have towards success. But I suppose what determines which course they take? Maybe it's personality, upbringing.
Yeah, absolutely true. All right, let me get you some sensational content. Let's rev this up so you can get some viewers. Then
bring it on.
How do you deal with feelings of jealousy then? Because I can give you an example just based on what we've been talking about just now. I have a brother who I think, by all accounts, I'll call him successful.
Right.
Yeah, and there was, of course we're brothers, and he's my younger brother, actually. So we grew up together, and we had a pretty similar life. But then, as you age and grow, you start to make different decisions and go down different paths of life. Now, I think if I asked him, "Are you successful?" he's gonna deny, but by every means, I think he's the definition of successful. He has a job, he's doing well,
Right.
living in New York. That's a dream
Right.
for many people. And certain points along that journey, I started to compare myself to him naturally as brothers, and some feelings of jealousy definitely arose. And I had to come to terms with that, sort of like
Right.
figure out a way to deal with it, because it's my brother.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a bit
Wow.
tricky. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's a hard one. Being jealous of a family member.
Or admitting
Yeah.
to jealousy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people keep it on the wraps.
I don't know, I suppose, but is jealousy a bad thing? Does it maybe if you feel jealous about someone, it kind of proves to you that you think that you still have maybe the potential to be
Wow.
even more successful. When you think about like what kind of people we feel jealousy towards, I think it's usually towards people that we feel are similar to us or in like a similar situation to us. So like, for instance, I wouldn't feel jealous of like a professional NBA player. Like, because
I get jealous of them all the time.
Right. Is it because what, you like basketball?
Oh, not even.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I just was like, if only I was a little taller and better at basketball. A million different things. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah.
But,
So
sorry. Yeah.
yeah, personally, I suppose like because I know that no matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be like them. I just I don't know. I just honestly feel like respect and admiration for them, but I don't really feel jealousy. But the times that I do feel jealousy is when I feel that I could perhaps maybe even do better than that person if I actually put in the effort. So maybe jealousy is an emotion that reminds us that we have potential, and therefore we could kind of treat it as a positive emotion.
I gotcha. Yeah. No, it's a really great answer.
はい、いかがでしたか？このような動画はですね、このチャンネルで多分初めて投稿したと思うので、よかったらね、コメント、感想などいろいろ聞かせてくれたら嬉しいです。よろしくお願いします。であとですね、この前の復帰一発目の動画ですね、見ていただきありがとうございます。正直ですね、2ヶ月もずっと投稿してなかったので、新しく動画を出してもおすすめとかに乗りづらくなって、1000回とか2000回ぐらいしか再生されないのかなって思ったんですけど、ありがたいことに5000回ぐらい再生されています。でたくさんね、応援のコメントもいただきましたし、高評価もいただきましたので、すごく嬉しかったです。これからね、もっともっと最高のコンテンツを提供していきますので、ぜひ楽しみにしていてください。そして今後も応援よろしくお願いします。それでは、I'll see you in the next lesson.